You've been training with your players for a few days now. What needs to be improved? What is the key area that absolutely must be worked on?
Well, as you said, we've had a few days already, and little by little we've been getting players back. The European internationals joined us earlier when we were in Valdebebas, and the players based here in the US arrived a bit later. I think the main thing is distances. If we manage better distances, both with and without the ball, we'll be better positioned and everything will work much more smoothly. So that's been a focus for us. It's a process of recognizing ourselves, understanding where we need to be, and then being in the right positions to have possession, to press, and to keep the team compact. I think that can be a key for us. We've worked a lot on that.
You said during your presentation that you're not sticking to just one system, but within the system we'll see tomorrow, where do you want to place Jude Bellingham? Do you want him closer to the forwards or deeper in midfield?
I think Jude has the ability to cover a lot of ground, but he needs to start from the right position. I believe he has the soul of a midfielder. He enjoys being involved in the build-up, and then he has that great quality to arrive in the box. So his starting position will be important. We've talked about that. He's very dynamic and covers a lot of ground. Finding him in the right areas will help him and also help the team because his abilities are exceptional.
Last season, Ancelotti made a point about the importance of commitment to the defensive system, especially in terms of pressing by the forwards. I wanted to ask, how important is that going to be in your system? And how do you plan to get the forwards to take on that responsibility? Because if they don't, the whole defensive setup could fall apart.
Nowadays, it's essential to have balance, both in attack and defense, and to have that commitment with everyone involved in every phase of play. As I mentioned before, keeping the team compact and maintaining the right distances will help us a lot. We haven't had much time, but we'll try to be as efficient as possible and make sure we get off to a good start. I'm sure that by the last day of the tournament, hopefully we'll make it to the final. We'll be a better team than when we started because we'll have had time to talk through things, to see if our approach is working and to make adjustments. The matches themselves will tell us a lot. So our starting point is tomorrow, or really a couple of days ago when we arrived, and we'll see where we end up.
On your first day, you said you wanted to ignite the fans. I'm wondering, have you managed to light that spark in the players yet? Are they starting to believe in this new idea?
That's a question for them. What I have felt is that the players are motivated and excited after closing an incredible chapter. They're ready for a new one, and there are some fresh faces as well. Their response to the changes has been positive. It feels like the right moment for all of us. As for igniting that spark, we have to show it on the pitch. I can say all kinds of things now, but tomorrow is when the truth begins. Tomorrow the rock and roll starts, and we have to show it.
How is Kylian doing? Will he be able to play tomorrow, either starting or from the bench? And what's the status of the other injured players, especially Rodrygo?
With Kylian, he was feeling a bit better this morning, but still not quite right, so it was better for him not to train today, especially with the heat, as you've seen. We'll monitor how he feels and we'll wait until the last moment. We'll decide tomorrow morning. As for the others, everyone is eager to play, but they're in different stages of recovery. Tony made a huge effort during the season and now he's done a great job recovering too. He'll probably be the first one ready. I don't know if we'll include him in the squad for tomorrow, but the idea is for him to be available for the second match if everything goes well. With others, we have to be a bit more cautious. Eduardo is progressing faster than we expected, which is great news. Carva and Militao are also doing well, but probably need a bit more time. And David as well, he still needs some more time. I might be forgetting someone, but that's basically today's medical update.
You just mentioned the heat. How concerned are you about playing tomorrow at 3 p.m., given the weather condition?
I'm not concerned at all because it is what it is. It's something I can't control. So I try not to worry about it and just adapt. Of course, it's going to be a big factor because of the schedule, because of where we are, but we can't change it. We just have to accept it and be smart about adapting during the different phases of the match. The heat will affect the rhythm a lot and we have to manage that well.
One of the recurring criticisms during Carlo Ancelotti's time was that the team sometimes looked undercoached, which I always thought was quite unfair. Have you found a team that was lacking in preparation? And on a positive note, has anything really amazed you about this team since you arrived? Something where you thought, wow, this is incredible. Maybe something you didn't even see during your playing days.
The day-to-day work is really good. The individual quality is just outstanding. That wasn't even a surprise, honestly. Now it's up to us to put in the work. I have a lot of respect and appreciation for what they've done before. Carlo's work was fantastic. He's the most successful coach in the club's history, but now we're starting a new chapter and we're going to do it our way. Still, the individual quality and the existing chemistry in the team give us a great foundation to build on.
At your presentation, I asked if you had spoken to Rodrygo yet, and you said not yet. I imagine you've now had a chance to talk to him. What have you told him about his role in this new Madrid? And you probably know how tough the final stretch of the season was for him under Ancelotti. Could you share anything?
Rodrygo is very much in his Real Madrid. I can share some things, but only up to a point. Yes, I know what happened. I know the end of the season wasn't easy for him. He took some time off, didn't go with the national team, and I think that helped him reset mentally. From day one, we've talked, and I see him eager to enjoy himself again, eager to contribute and to have fun out there. We've had those conversations, and now it's about putting it all into practice.
Also, I'd like to ask you about Franco Mastantuono. People in Argentina are really emotional about his transfer. Can you comment on the player?
And what was your first question again?
Yes, despite the tournament just starting, given Real Madrid's history, you're seen as natural contenders.
Absolutely. In any competition Real Madrid plays, we're natural contenders. We've earned that status. Of course, we have to prove it, but yes, we've come here with that ambition. That said, we're not obsessing over July 13th. We know we need to take it step by step. This is the start of a journey that will evolve, and that's definitely the goal. As for Franco, I hope the reaction in Argentina is a positive kind of emotional. We're very happy as well. He's a player with an incredible present and an even more exciting future. What really struck me was his maturity, not just on the pitch, but off it too. After speaking with him, you can tell things don't just happen by chance. We've been following him at River. He just played a key role in their 3-1 win. He's taking the right steps in his development, and in August he'll join us. He's going to be a very important addition to the squad.
Back to Mastantuono. Can you tell us anything about what you said to him in that first conversation?
Of course not.
How are you feeling 24 hours before your debut? You called it rock and roll. What are your emotions right now?
I'm excited, of course. Training and talking things through is great, but what you really want is to see the team in action. The match will tell us a lot. Some of the things we want to implement will take time, but if we see signs that we're on the right track, that will be a strong starting point. We want to win, and we're going for it. That's priority number one, but how we win will also be meaningful.
I want to ask about Modrić. You played alongside him for a while, and now he's nearing the end of his time at Madrid, whenever this tournament ends. What are you asking from him, on and off the pitch, in these last few games? And is it harder or easier to manage a player you were once teammates with?
It's actually very easy. Luka and I always had a great relationship as teammates, as friends, and now as coach and player. There's a lot of mutual trust, and we both understand what's needed in each moment. I love seeing the way Luka connects with the younger players. He's such a positive influence, and we want to enjoy these last 3 or 4 weeks with him. He's a legendary player, someone who will go down in Madrid history. Getting the chance to squeeze a little more out of him until the final day is a real privilege.
Are you aware that River felt mobilized in a sporting sense?
Mobilized in what sense?
River is harmed by the fact that Franco's signing was confirmed before the tournament.
Disadvantaged, you mean?
The word they used was that it mobilized them,
Mobilize, got it. But mobilize as in it disadvantaged them, you mean?
that it was confirmed before River's debut in the Club World Cup.
Well, I watched the match. They won 3-1, and I think River played a good game. So I don't know. I didn't see them as very, quote, mobilized.
The young players, not just Franco, but also Arda, Endrick, who last season were under a philosophy of having to warm the bench. Are you going to change anything in this regard?
They're players who, after a year, have the adaptation process to Madrid takes time. Even for Luka, I remember his first year at Madrid, it was a gradual progression. And for example, in the case of Arda, Endrick, these young players taking such a big step, it's a natural process. This second year, they'll surely start getting more minutes little by little. Other players in that phase will also help. The academy players who are coming up are contributing a lot too. So it's a natural process.
It's not easy to build a team, right? To aim to be world club champions. There's a real aspiration because many people dared to say that this was some kind of pre-season for Real Madrid, right?
Who said that?
A lot in the journalistic environment.
I understand.
This could also be considered as a pre-season, right? For the aspirations that come later. But are you really going to try to win the tournament title with real ambition?
Well, I said earlier, any competition Real Madrid enters has, and I think we can be among the favorites, among the contenders to fight for it, and that's how we see it. But right now, we're not thinking too much about the final on July 13th. Everything will come in time. We want to take many steps before that to build things, to have the feeling that we're forming a team, that we're finding ourselves and recognizing how we want to compete, how we want to play. The starting point is tomorrow. It will tell us things. Surely there'll be things we lack. We shouldn't get frustrated, and then the steps will follow.
Regarding Vinicius, how was your first contact with him? How does he fit into your playing style?
It was very good, wasn't it? Because I didn't know Vinny personally. I had watched him a lot, and everything I saw and heard about him, well, in 10 seconds, I practically recognized it. His way of being, his way of communicating with people, he's a very, very, very passionate player, right? Very emotional, and you have to be close to him. I really like having that kind of player, and that's the idea I have. How can we use him in the best way, in the best position? That's the work we have to do now, but he has a big heart. That's what I've felt in these few days.
You've already talked about how you see Bellingham on the pitch. I want to ask you the same about Mbappé. Do you see him as a box nine? Do you see him as, at times, a winger when the fullback moves inside? What have you seen football-wise in Mbappé?
He's more of a nine, a more dynamic forward, not positional, not a box player. Those aren't his characteristics, right? I think we can have rotations there, not fixed players. I think we can automate certain ideas, certain feelings within their individual qualities. But of course, he's not a reference nine, Kylian, but he's a nine who scores a lot of goals.
Beyond the formation you use tomorrow and in the future in this tournament, what is it that your team must not lack on the pitch, especially tomorrow? Thank you.
Well, hunger to win, hunger to compete, and hunger to try to play well. We have to mix a lot of things, right? But without a doubt, it's pride, honor, that sense of defending your team's badge, that team feeling. We have to work on it, but the team already has it, right? And we're going to keep adding nuances, insisting on things, but we have to play as a team.
In Brazil, also in Argentina, the World Cup is a huge success. What do you think of the start of the competition so far? What are your thoughts? Did you like what you've seen?
Yes, I liked it. The Brazilian teams didn't surprise me, but the truth is they've shown a very good level, both Palmeiras, Botafogo, Flamengo, and Fluminense. They've really shown a great level and will be tough teams, right? With a high level, they've always had it, they always prove it in world competitions, and for everyone it's something new, right? Because you have the national team World Cup, which is already huge, but we can make this competition big too, right? Because we're bringing together clubs from all over the world, and that unites the football world. Having the opportunity to play tomorrow against a team from Saudi Arabia, next week or in a few days, against one from Mexico, and then against one from Austria, right? But I think it's a competition with a lot of appeal, right? Because sometimes we focus a lot on ourselves in Europe, on what happens in Europe, and we think there's nothing else, and we're very wrong, right? Outside of Europe, there are very good teams, and this gives us the opportunity to see where we stand.